filmed this back in May. This was right at the start of spring when I was starting to tend to my plants now that they were getting bigger and needed more attention. I've kind of fell behind on everything, so I'm at the moment playing catch up. Hardening your plants is a very long and tedious week of taking your plants out in the morning and then bringing them all back in the evening. But it actually went quicker than I thought it would, so it wasn't too bad by the end of the week. This year while gardening, I kind of took a step back in the sense that I kind of have sort of perfectionist tendencies where everything has to be exactly the right way. But I kind of let that go this year, and in doing so have realised how resilient plants are. I started to realise that particularly last summer season when I was doing all my planting, that they don't need to be all perfectly straight and look the exact same way, and their spacing doesn't need to be perfect. Plants grow in cracks in the concrete, so if they're not exactly 2 inches apart, they will not die. So that this year I just kind of let go of that perfectionism and just kind of, let what happened was going to happen. I also used a lot more secondhand materials in the sense that I foraged for sticks to use to support my plants, and I didn't buy any new pots. I just used containers that food containers that we were finished with, and it's felt a lot more grounding, I guess, in the process of growing plants. And I guess slightly loosen my control on the process. I'm very controlling, and it's something I'm trying to let go of. So being able to bring that into this practice has been really nice. And just not worrying, I guess, as much, knowing that the plants will do their thing. I'll give them the little bit of help that they need to grow. So again, I would always be really worried if plants didn't look perfect, if they were maybe a bit wilted. So when I was hardening this week, a lot of my plants wilted for the whole time or for the first few hours when they would go outside, and I just kind of let it happen this time, and I didn't worry about it. And because I had learned last year how resilient they were, I just didn't worry. And they spruced out once they've actually all been potted now, which will probably be shown in a later video, and they're all doing fabulous. So when it comes to plants, what will happen. Some might die, but most will probably be fine. Quick side note, if you have never smelled a tomato plant, I would highly recommend it. They smell so good. I had Russian tomatoes that I grew last year that didn't really produce any tomatoes, but yet the plants smelled so good. Tallulah is our shyest cat, so whenever she comes out to me when I'm in the garden, I just kind of let her do her thing, but I also feel very honoured. I get very happy and excited when she comes up and has a wee nosy with what you're doing when I'm outside, though, because when she comes up to you, it is very rare. I also think I scared her when she was a kitten. Her and her brother were very timid, and I probably just got very excited when she was around because she's so small and cute. I grew a lot of plants this year deliberately. Last year I had some spares that I had out on the street to see if anybody wanted them, and so I deliberately, with intention, grew lots of extras this year to set up a little plant stall and give them away to the neighbours. Was last year the garden was a bit more of a chore. I viewed it a bit more of a chore than I did this year, or than I should have, because plants and gardening is just something that brings me a lot of joy. So I've definitely viewed it differently this year, and it's definitely my happy place. But even still, it can be hard work. So days that I can go out and have an adventure and explore are really great, and it's definitely something I'm trying to put more of an emphasis on this year. This is a very pointless clip, but I wanted to show that I had put food scraps in here, and this soil has probably been untouched for a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, and it's all turned to soil basically, and it made me so happy. But also just watching myself planting and doing it in such a carefree way is really freeing for me. I, like I'd already said at the start, was very controlling with how I did my gardening and plants last year, but also in most, just about every aspect of my life. So knowing that I'm actively trying to help myself in that regard and watching myself do it is, yeah, it's a really nice experience. And knowing now how much enjoyment I get from gardening is a really beautiful thing.